Hello guys, welcome to my video, and in this video I would like to explain about my paper presentation. But before that, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Cahya Ningrum and you can call me Ningrum. I'm from C class in 8th semester of English department. So the first slide is explain about the title. The title of the paper is The Procedure of the Application Listen Read Discussion Strategies in Teaching Reading Comprehension at Second Grade Students of Junior High School. Okay, and there is points of presentation. There are three of point presentation. The first is introduction, the second is literature review, and the last is about conclusion and suggestion. The introduction, we have a background of the problem. Reading is one of skill that should be mastered by students. It is very important to get information through many kinds of book or passage. In addition, a reading ability is needed by a reader to get information, to get more knowledge, for pleasure or for interest. But sometimes the problem comes from the teachers themselves. It is difficult for the teachers to find and choose an interesting strategy to teaching reading comprehension. Okay, and then the aim of teaching reading is to make students are expect to read effectively and efficient. It means that they really understand about the content. Students do not only have to know about the structure of the text, but also comprehend the meaning what they have read. However, comprehending the reading text is not easy to learn because English is still our foreign language and students shouldn't have fully understanding about the text. And then there are some language components that to be mastered by the students, such as pronunciation, vocabulary, and also grammar. Okay, and the next slide about statement of the problem. There is a statement of the problem, such as how does listen read discussion strategy used in teaching reading comprehension for second grade students of junior high school. Okay, and then the next slide about literature review. In the literature review, I have some explanation about the nature of reading. Reading is skill which is very essential for the students. The readers are able to increase their understanding on the text or collect vocabularies and knowledge. And then it makes people easy to connect their ideas on reading towards what they have already known. Based on Snow 2002, reading consists of three elements. There are the reader, the text, and the activity of reading. But in fact, sometimes many students have difficulties to know the contents of a text in reading process. Maybe because they have not the meaning of vocabulary or the meaning of the sentence maybe. So some problems for the students. And then the next is kinds of reading. There is 5 kinds of reading. There are perceptive reading, selective reading, interactive reading, intensive reading, and extensive reading. Okay, the first is perceptive reading. Perceptive reading is focused primarily on button processing. In other words, If a teacher is trying to assess this type of reading, they simply want to know if the student can read or not. The ability to understand or comprehend the text is not the primary goal at this. Okay, and then selective reading involves looking a reader's ability to recognize the grammar, discourse features, and etc. This is done with brief paragraphs and short reading passage. Assessment involves standard assessment items such as multiple choice, short answer, and also can use true or false, and etc. In order to be successful at this level, the student needs to use bottom-up and top-down processing. Charts, graphs can also be employed. Interactive reading. Interactive reading involves deriving meaning from the text. This places even more emphasis on top and down processing. Readings are often chosen from genres that employ implied main ideas rather than the state. The readings are also more authentic in nature and can include announcements, direction, recipes, and etc. Okay, and the next slide about intensive reading. Based on Brown 1989, intensive reading is calls attention to grammatical forms, discourse markers, and other surface structure details for the purpose of understanding literal meaning, implication, rhetorical relationships, and something like that. Okay, and the last is about extensive reading. Extensive reading is large amounts of information and being able to understand the big picture. The students needs to be able to separate the details from the main ideas. Many students struggle with this in their native language, such as this is even more difficult when students are trying to digest large amounts of information in a second language, because in Indonesia, English is not second language, but English is English as a foreign language. So it's really difficult to students in Indonesia to know about the meaning, right? Okay, the next is reading skill. Okay, the next slide is reading skill. The skill of reading is used by the reader to anticipate text information, selecting key information, organize and mentally summarize information, monitor comprehension, repair comprehension breakdowns, and match comprehension output to the reader goals. Every reader has their own way of reading to the text which is appropriate with them. The teacher should give some skills to the students to make them comprehend text easily. Using the skill, the students may increase the pleasure of and effectiveness of reading activity. So, okay. And the next slide is reading comprehension. Reading comprehension is an understanding a written text, meaning extracting the required information from it as efficiently as possible. For example, when the reader is looking at notice board to see if there is an article of a special interest in scientific journal, readers apply different reading strategies to understand the information oriented in the article demonstrates that the reading purpose in each case has been successfully fulfilled. It means Reading comprehension is make a students to know or to understand about the meaning of the text. And then the next is about teaching reading. Teaching is an activity in which the teacher guides and facilitates learning, gives a chance for the learners to learn, and sets the condition for learning. Okay, and some experts explain about term of teaching reading, which may be further discussed here, based on Nuttall 1982, page 21, states one of the function of teaching reading, especially reading foreign language such as English, for students who are not native speakers is to make them be able to understand the text. When they deal with the foreign language, they will be capable to read in appropriate speed, a silent way, and adequate understanding. The process of teaching and learning English have a characteristic. This characteristic lead the process to be successful process if the teacher applies them well. Okay, on the next slide, I have some explanation about definition of listen, read, discuss strategy. ELT strategy is a strategy that helps students to understand about the text. The teacher gives a short text to the students, and then the students will read the text, and the teacher speak, and the teacher explain or give some information about the text, about content of the text. Yeah. After reading, the students will discuss the information that they have read and the lecture of the teacher gave. So the definition of Okay, the next slide is about teaching reading strategy. Reading comprehension is the only reason for reading. Without comprehension, reading is a frustrating, pointless exercise in word calling. It is not to say that how well students develop the ability to comprehend what they read has a profound effect on their entire life. Strategy is a plan, method, or series of maneuvers or stratagems for obtaining a specific goal or the result. It is a tool to get a goal of learning. In teaching learning process, strategy is a plan to get purpose of teaching and learning process that's suitable with the role of curriculum. So, in based on the explanation above, the writer use of the role of curriculum 2013. Okay, and what is about the ELT strategy? ELT strategy is an appropriate strategy to teach reading. Here, the students will get the explanation about the text from the teacher before they read, and the students could enhance in their comprehension about the text by doing discussion. So, before the students read the text, the students will get the information from the teachers about the content of the text, and then the students will give some discussion about the content of the text from their groups. Okay, so let's move to the next slide. The next slide is explain about the procedure of teaching reading by using LRD strategy. How to use this strategy to teach reading comprehension. So the first is about listen. The teacher will present the information on the content of reading to the students and provides them with a graphic organizer to guide the lecture. It means that the teacher should prepare to give some information on the content of reading text to the students, and then after that have the students to read desired these lections. The teacher allowed the students to read the material either with partners or by themselves. So in this strategy, the student have a choice which one they will choose. If they want to read by themselves, so it can be individual.
Okay, that is the conclusion and suggestion from my paper. Okay, from the explanation above, that is the conclusion for my paper. Okay, I think that's all for my video. See you on next my video. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.